right. Oh, it's gonna have to be enough. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Trailblazer U Noonday Recharge. Dr. Coretta King here. We are continuing our financial stewardship series. Today, we're talking about savings and reducing your financial imprint. We're going to do this workshop style where I ask some questions and get some best practices from you all, and then I'm going to share from the resources on how to reduce your spending. Y'all like my shirt? God, I love you. You my everything. Shout out to my St. Lou folks. Um, I'm glad everybody is here. We're going to start off with the scripture. I have not posted any replays in a while. So they just came back. That is today and tomorrow's and through the weekend's homework. So I can't even tell you to watch yesterday's replay. Actually, on YouTube, it's weird, but they play it instantly and then you go back and edit. You can watch Monday and Tuesday's replays. They're on YouTube. Trailblazer U on YouTube, same handle everywhere we go. And I will have some news for y'all updated about how we're going to stream. There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes with all these platforms. I'm figuring some stuff out. I'm testing different places. So be patient with me. More information to come. I need to consult with my personal board of trustees, map out a couple of things because I also don't like to have people going to and fro. I appreciate everybody, but you know your obligation. This little gray bar here tells you what to do. Tap the screen, keep the hearts coming, keep the chat flowing, respecting the chat, share the live, repost it, story it, get your orange heart. Thank you. Buckle up. I'm about to start with today's scripture. And I believe I went to the book of Hebrews. I believe I'm going to start with Hebrews, the 6th chapter. I'm starting with verses 13 and I'm going to go all the way to verse 20. So Hebrews 6, 13 and 20. And this section is called God Promises Bring Hope. And like yesterday, I'm actually hi, hello, it's T, hi, NYC Bell. I am going to go with the New Living Translation. And if folks are from the Schoolhouse Rocks, our Schoolhouse Trailblazer U, if you'll let folks know, we're over in the YouTube. If people want to join over there, not obligated. Hey Netta, hey Nashandra. So, Hebrews 6 and 13, for example, there was God's promise to Abraham. Since there was no one greater to swear by, God took an oath in his own name, saying, I will certainly bless you, and I will multiply your descendants beyond number. Then Abraham waited patiently, and he received what God had promised. Now, when people take an oath, they can call on someone greater than themselves to hold them to it. And without any question, that oath is binding. God also bound himself with an oath so that those who received the promise could perfectly sure that he would never change his mind. So God has given both his promise and his oath. These two things are unchangeable because it is impossible for God to lie. Therefore, we who have fled to him for refuge can have great confidence as we hold to the hope that lies before us. This hope is strong and trustworthy, anchor for our souls. Come on, anchor. Y'all know it's part of our Trailblazer U Crust. It leads us through the curtain into God's inner sanctuary. Again, this hope is a strong and trustworthy anchor for our souls. It leads us through the curtain into God's inner sanctuary. Final verse. Jesus has already gone in there for us. He has become our eternal high priest in the order of, I think it's Melchizedek. Anyway, that was context. So hi, Captain Firelad. Um, Again, that was today's scripture, letting you know that God made both an oath and a promise for those who seek refuge in him. And it says he is a strong and trustworthy anchor. So for those of you who are working through your finances, you're trying to get liquid, or those of you who've gone through the journey, thank you for joining us. Thank you for those being willing to share your experiences. Thank y'all for the love in the chat. Thank y'all for sharing the chat. And we're gonna get started. So the way I wanted to do today, I wanted us to think short term and intermediary, or intermediate. Like I don't want us to think too long term. We'll do long term towards the end, but I want us to think short term and long term. And I don't even have anything to Right on, but it's fine. I can do this from my brain. I'll put it in the top chat, and actually I'll put it in both chats. So the first thing I want to start off with is I want us to pretend like we're all one big old large family, and we have run up against just a little bit of debt, and we're trying to decrease our spending so we can take the extra income that we want to stop spending and put it towards paying down our responsibilities. Right? Right. So I'm going to put a list of topics and I'm going to ask, like, what are things that we could do differently under that topic as a family? Right? Like, how can we reduce our spending? How can we save money? How can we generate extra money? And then we're going to go topic by topic. So I think I'm going to write them on YouTube and then call them out on top. So, pardon me one moment, good people. Um, Boom. All right. So the first area I want us to think about just collectively. So what I'm asking you to do is if there's best practices you deployed to help you reduce spending in this area or generate extra income to maintain this area, like I want you to put it in whatever chat. So whether you're in YouTube, whether you're in talk, I want you to put in the chat like what you have done or what you suggest we could do differently to reduce our spending. So the first one is having think about Maslow hierarchy of needs. Shelter is always first, right? That pyramid that goes like this on look, I'm not throwing up that, but Maslow hierarchy of needs is a pyramid. At the very bottom, this little bottom rung right here is always shelter. That is your basic level of need. So that's why we're starting with shelter first. Hey, Sheree, if you can't do nothing else, how do you protect or make sure that you can support shelter but reduce your imprint a little bit? So, first one's rent or shelter, rent, mortgage, shelter, however you want to live. What can we do if we were one household managing a budget? What are Hey Apple users 58? What are some things that we could do differently to lighten our load financially when it comes to our rent, our mortgage, or whatever when it comes to shelter? What things have people done? What ideas do people have? How can we lessen our spending on where you live? Put your ideas in the chat, please. Hi Annette. If you see me looking back and forth, I'm just looking so Robbie said under to help with expenses on shelter. Robbie and Chrissy said don't spend on decor, don't eat out. Okay, so let me add that. Let me see. Hi, AV. Don't spend on decor. That could be like people don't think that's a big deal, but like some folks like periodically will change up their interior throws, pillows, depending on where you go purchase that stuff at, even if it's on sale, that's a easy if you hit them stores that I like to hit, that's an easy 50 $70, $100, even when it's on sale. And so you just gotta be careful about how you choose to spend your money. Hi, Carolyn. Listen, hobby. I was just thinking about all the places you just said at home, Hobby Lobby, Ross, Marshall. Like you literally can go in and pick out a couple things in Genesis, and you start to see, oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, I've been wanting to put that in the bathroom. Oh, I bet now that the kids are out, hi Sabria, I've been wanting to put that stuff in there. It's easy. And that's literally depending on how quick you are to spend money, that's an easy 50 to I'm gonna be some of y'all $200. And it's nice, but it's nice when you have it. If you have that marginal income. Hi everybody, good afternoon, good morning. depending on your region, it's good when you have it. But that saving on the decor, that's real. And it may also be like maybe not honoring like pagan or not, maybe not honoring holidays. So for some of y'all, that's going to save you on your, I mean, I didn't put it on there, but your utilities could be under home, like your light bill, because you running lights for every holiday. There's somebody locally, I love these folks to death. They go all out, outside the house, inside the house, like everybody stops. You slow down when you see them. They honor every holiday. They said they did it after their grandkids left the house, and so now they're everybody's grandparents. But you may like that may be between the extra to run the lights and have decor outside and stuff on the inside. You may be able to save some money on that. Not doing holiday decor. Some people, if it's Valentine's Day, they got hearts. If it's Easter's, they got everything from the resurrection cross to the bunnies leaping through the house. Like it may have to be, and it's the word is sunset. You may want to sunset for a season some of those things so that you don't invest the money. And I know some people are like, well, I just recycle. Well, if you recycle, you've already paid for it. That's your business if you want to decorate. But if you're the person that goes out every season and do that, that's a source of income that you could save right there. That's an easy $100, $200 you can put right back in your budget. And for some of y'all, that's monthly. Some of y'all, it's periodically, but that's a good one. No decoration. Robert Gadget said no eating out. So my next topic is grocery. So I'm gonna tuck that on the grocery, but that's a good point. Eat what's at the house. Like everybody make a commitment to eat what's at the house. And also that like saves like honestly, you could probably and we can talk about rent, shelter, and grocery together if we need to. That's gonna factor into your utilities. That's gonna factor into rent, shelter, grocery, utilities folks cooking certain times of day instead of everybody just come in and cook when they want to cook. That's extra use of gas, electricity, water, so on and so forth. Maybe be mindful, high growth with Chelsea. Maybe be mindful of when you want to do these things, right? So that everybody's not just haphazardly using resources. Like I remember the summer that I was staying with a friend in Dallas. She had certain times of day that she did things because in Texas, you pay your utilities. They have so many options in Texas. It's a little bit different than the rest of the states. The rest of the states, like you can do, like you can lock in your bill, you can do seasoning bill and all that. Texas be having like is 8 light plans. You can have 8 gas, 8 water. Like they have all that. But you could, for some people, they choose for their electricity, like to have free nights, almost like cell phone, like what cell phones used to have. They have free nights and weekends, and during the day is when like their bill will spike up. Like it may just be mindfulness of when are we doing these things? How often do we need to eat different? Do we hey love pickles? Do we need to eat like a combination of cold and hot food? And do we need the stove? Like, is it cheaper? Like, and you may have to test this out. Is it cheaper to take a hot plate and plug it in than it is to have the gas bill turned on or cooking over the stove? Like, does the confection oven that's on top of our counter bake faster than our oven does with that electric? Like, you may have to test those things out, but it helps you think differently. How can we move? And then do we do cold versus hot food? Like, do we stop eating a hot breakfast and go towards more of a continental breakfast? Like, we're gonna eat more fruits, more veggies, or we do more smoothies or something like that versus being over the skillet. Like, again, you don't have to cut everything out, but when you start to move different, if you say, "Well, I'm gonna do more cold breakfasts," then that even reduces the type of food that you're bringing into the house, right? So it's a positive domino. It's a positive domino. Any other suggestions on how we can look at rent and shelter? Rent, shelter, grocery, and utilities. How can we spend less in those areas if we're trying to modify our budgets? What daily practices can we really do differently, folks, that you've deployed or you think would be helpful? Put those in the chat for me. Or if you have a story, you're welcome to come up. Just put it in the chat you want to come up, and I'll invite you to talk alongside me. So let me know. And y'all know I'm good with therapeutic silence, so I'm really gonna let y'all think through this before I say too much more. Mhm. Thanks for the go popular. Hi, Night. Thanks for joining. Oh, this is about to go out. Chrissy said cut back on cable. So on the utility end, cut back on cable. I remember when I first got to Chicago, I didn't have cable. Well, when I was in Indianapolis, I used just Wi-Fi and I could get the basic channels. But when I moved to Chicago, I couldn't. Like I didn't get the basic channels like I needed to, even with a antenna, I couldn't. So that was a little bit rough for me. So I ended up getting basic cable, but eventually after like a year or so, I just went to Wi-Fi and I started streaming. I used my same Wi-Fi cable people were it's the same. So I just went to streaming channels only and I was pretty satisfied. It was definitely less money on my pockets. And I just got clear about like what do you really watch? And so I found ways to like listen, if I do Wi-Fi, like there's this channel I don't get that much of. Can I live without it? Can I watch it on like how do I get access to those channels? So it made me think creatively. So it was under utilities, reduce cable Wi-Fi streaming. And those of y'all who have big families, y'all may have to get an understanding about y'all may have to get a oh thank you for helping us meet the goal, Michelle. You may have to get understanding about what streaming looks like. It's okay to stream, but it may be, hey, people in the house, do we have the right bandwidth? Right, having a fire stick. I came home and my dad had got a fire stick, cut cable, cut all that stuff. It's Wi-Fi central around here. I said, no, Pop done got with it. Come on, Pop. Pop don't play by no coin. Let me see. I have missed a couple of things that people send in the chat. Cut on modern conveniences, dishes by hand. Um, Chrissy, I used to have no, did I have Comcast? I had somebody that's a subsidiary of Comcast, I think. They have a listen, and I think that's why so many cell phone providers are jumping into the internet game. Because they want a piece of the action. I know, like between T-Mobile, Verizon, and whoever else, you can pay X amount a month, like maybe 35, $50, and then they provide Wi-Fi. And then I think you can increase your storage. Yeah, I also something I used to do because I have T-Mobile. Um, when I first before I moved to Chicago, I would did I have Wi-Fi? No, it was in Chicago. I finally started paying for Wi-Fi in Indianapolis, I use my cell phone's Wi-Fi. Like you can I forget what it's called, but you can jump basically you can jump your devices off of your cell phone's Wi-Fi. Meaning like I would have X amount of Wi-Fi and then they would send me Wi-Fi passes through T-Mobile because I was by that point I had been with them 20 years. At this point, probably a 30-year-old now. Like that's how old I am. I've had a cell phone since 2001. Um Oh, I got a whole 25-year-old. Don't tell nobody. Um, but like those perks would add up. And then I would just like when I had extra cash, I would go and purchase like if I knew I was gonna be home for all weekend, it's a holiday weekend or something, and I know I want to stream a lot, then I would purchase like a $10 pass that would like basically allow me to like just stream really good and not run over that pass amount. But that's what I did before I moved to Chicago. When I moved to Chicago, my antennas didn't work as well. And so I just like I said, I went through cable and then I eventually went from cable to just a strong Wi-Fi presence in my home. And that's what I used. And it took me a little while to get used to streaming only. I was really nervous, but it was fun. And then that's when I found like Ion as a basic channel. And that's when actually hotels do it, y'all. I promise you, most of your favorite hotels, they'll offer maybe one or two premiums, but some don't even offer premium anymore. Some of them just offer like the basic channels that come when you stream. Um, and that's how, like, if the hotels are doing it, I mean, think about what it can do for your household, to manage how you spend money. Robbie Gadget said, like, oh, there was something Robbie said that I liked that was really, really good. Um, hold on. Oh yeah, doing dishes by hand. I grew up. I still do dishes by hand. My parents don't. My parents use their dishwasher as a holder. Now I love me a little dishwasher. It was just me as a person. I kind of came out even on that, but you know your water bill and you know like your frequency. I don't like dishes per se. I don't care how much money I end up. I could be a multi-billionaire tomorrow. I'm still gonna have paper plates and cups in my house. It ain't got to do with class when it come to me. I like disposable and I like sustainability. I know that, I like using recycled products and I like to am I nervous about something cuz I'm grabbing my ear. I like to like reuse. I used to walk around the house with the same cup. I try to. I actually kind of still do, but I drink more water now. But I try to reuse the same cup, utensils. Like I try to use things before I just dump them. And we even like rewash like some of our like plastic cutlery. My mom's a cancer survivor like me, but her cancer, like she can't, like she doesn't need to use formal silverware. She needs to use paper products. Like she can't have that. It just is not good for her because of her past treatments and things like that. So yeah, that's a good one. You will, I mean, eventually you will save a little bit. You'll save some of your utilities. And then it teaches people how to elbow grease because what if your dishwasher goes out? The art of washing dishes. Let me see what else people got. Hey Perla, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, y'all tell me about some of the okay, fire sticks. People have fire sticks. Hey, A to the P. A to the P, you're in tube. So I've been like just putting notes in YouTube. We're talking about how we can reduce spending. So TLC, hey, what up? What up? So y'all just seeing my notes over here. Stan Prep said, yeah, we cut years ago, insanely expensive. Listen, when you cut down to that Wi-Fi and get off that cable, like grandma them say, get that baby off that nipple, get them off that bottle. That cable bill will run you because here's what you would do. And I remember I would try to get the entry plan. But at some point, that entry plan gonna come up. That 12 months, you think that 12, oh, it's 12 months, I got time. And when that 12 months comes up, you looking like, now you want me to pay you who? Mm-mm. So you're gonna have to get off of it at some point because you're really not committed to paying that regular bill. You're not. You're not. Let me see. Yep, assign days to wash clothes and dishes. Yep, the friend I had in Dallas, she does that. And I try my best to honor that. Yep, T-Mobile and Netflix give Hulu free with commercials. Yes, and if those of you who had that Walmart plan, A to the P mentioned having that Walmart plan. I forget what it's called, but you get discount on some of those streaming. If not discount, you get a lower price. And then there's webs like they're $20. For $20, you can go to I can't think of the name, but Tubi is free. There's another one. Tubi, what's the one that's like it's on my cell phone, but I don't want to go to it right now. There's another one outside of Tubi. I use Tubi. Um, I can't think of it. It's got like a purple blue logo. But anyway, I can't. Yeah, AT&T said yes, Paramount and other deals. Um, a lot of your shows, a lot of them premium cable things are streaming on Hulu. And if you're a student, if you're enrolled in school and you're watching this live on a replay, you get those things. When I was an SC student, I got most of all my stuff reduced, whether it was Amazon Prime, Hulu, so on and so forth. You can get those reduced. And like you said, some of your phone providers we'll give you a discount if you are with them on some of those like Apple's streaming service and all that good stuff. Like there's resources out there, but I promise you, it's cheaper than that big cable bill. If you got a cable bill, it's because I don't mean harm. This is not ages. You're just old school. And you need to come back new school because I promise you, you spending way more money than you need to right now. Them cable bills, like they may start off kind of cute around $50 and $70, but I promise you, by the time you renew it, you at 110, 120 easy. And then if you got a lot of rooms that you got to run cables out of, and people want like those premium packages. But now, see, some people you got to really mind your budgets. Now I'm going to come from some juggler. I know people who spend $200 a month on YouTube streaming and they got the family plan or 150 or $100. Like some of y'all really got to look at like which of those channels are y'all watching? Like some of y'all streaming content rivals an old school cable company. So if you're trying to cut money, it just may be like, what channels do we really want to watch? Like, what channels can we commit to for our children versus the adults in the house? And if it's an adults in the house, baby, you might be using that cell phone to get into how you live. If you came down, so like there's levels, right? Like if you're just trying to reduce your spending, you know what your budget is asking you for. But if you're trying to cut, you need to cut it. Cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. Them utilities, you need to cut them. Listen, if you got to cut your utilities, you should not be paying that kind of money. But I know some families, and baby, they spend some money. I ain't mad at it. If you love it, I like it. But if you got to reduce that imprint, if somebody end up not working, if some if we got a band around somebody because we got an unexpected, like maybe a child goes in the hospital and they have to be at a hospital for a while, and you got to do things differently because you didn't expect that to happen, your insurance will cover some of that, but like some of that you're gonna have to leverage on your, like, unexpected happens every day, y'all, and that's why we having these conversations. This ain't about you just out here leisurely and you got caught lacking. This just sometimes life will happen and finances will change, and um oh yeah, AP says they turn on which apps for which shows are playing at the time, and then they turn off when the shows are done. So they don't even stream all day. And that's another thing. Like if you have, especially if you have like under teenagers, like when they come home, do you have a regimen? Do you have and this is in parenting 101, but do y'all sit around and like use all your resources all day? Are things on needlessly? Like I try not to use that capital B word, because Lord knows there's a lot more out here in this earth with us than we know. But like I don't walk around with a whole bunch of light. The only reason why y'all see that light behind me right now, y'all can't see me on top, but two can, because I'm trying to balance how the light appears on my screen. Other than that, this thing would have been dark. Okay, Donnie Darko. I don't care nothing about no light. Not even at nighttime. I trained myself after watching J Lo's enough. I trained myself to be able to walk through a house with no light, and I've always been like that. I don't need a whole bunch of light. If you in here with me and you ain't got no business, we're gonna kung fu panda. Yeah, I'm faster than I look. Don't find out. But that's good stuff. Stay up, pray up. Man, come on, talk about Michelle. Michelle said the kids love to leave the lights on. Hey, lovely. The summertime for electric. First of all, Georgia Power be holding everybody. Okay, I'm gonna say it for those who don't want to admit it. Georgia Power, like I lived in the Midwest, y'all in the South. I'm so sorry to tell y'all. I don't know about the other side. I can't speak for Alabama Power and all them other people. Georgia Power, you can come for me if you want to. You know you be hoeing folks. The way y'all be doing people, y'all be making up numbers and charging folks for that stuff. I thank God for IPL, Indianapolis Power and Light, Chicago. My utilities and stuff up north has always been cheaper than down south. They robbing people down south with these utilities, and I just want to. Y'all need a consumer watchdog on it. They robbing folks down here. I don't care what nobody say. I used to skate. Y'all talking about up north with all that winter and all that cold. My bills still be cheaper than y'all's. All that. They be robbing down here. They be robbing. It's a scandal. Mama. It's a scandal. It's a scandal. So we talked about a couple of things that we could do around the utilities. Let me see if there's any. You do have to get creative. You do have to get creative. One of my family members cannot they are cold natures. So they always cold. The rest of us hot flash because we in menopause. Summer is ooh, it's I don't like it because I need to be colder. But what we would do is we keep our temperature about the same all day long. We don't do all that up and down, and we use our ceiling fans to circulate air. So if you got ceiling fans, use the ceiling fans. If you got get your oscillating fan if you don't have ceiling fans. If you can keep the temperature in your house, like you got good insulation, go look at your insulation. If you know somebody, a Tim the Tool guy in your neighborhood or in your family, or maybe it's your partner, or maybe it's your granddad or stepdad, cousin, uncle, rate them. I don't care who it is. Get somebody to check the insulation in your house. Is the insulation in your floor right? In your walls right? Do you have like, are you losing energy 24/7, whether it's the summer months or the cold months? Are you losing more energy than you know? Because that's gonna be draining you too. If you're all your energy walking outside as soon as you turn it on, there's no need of you turning nothing on in your house. I'm not okay. Okay. I have to mention sassy press. I'm working on it, y'all. I'm a little bit sassy. Grand Rising, Eliza. I'm just looking to see if I missed anything in the chat. All right. So that was some good stuff under utilities, rent, mortgage. Some things to think about rent. If you are like for my renters, when you have to move from apartment to apartment, do your research because there's nothing like having to break a lease. I got a deadbeat renter in Chicago. I wish I remember the name because I shout you out because you know you trash. It cost me $7,700 to break my lease. They gave me a year to pay it. I paid it up in 10 months. I did what I had to do. I thank God I could do, but you know what broke my heart? I said there's families that are here and they can't even do it. If you hold me, I know you're holding those people. I make more money, I have more intelligence, and I'm getting up out of here because I'm not gonna let you sacrifice my cost of living. The reason why I'm bringing this story up, sometimes you're not always going. Sometimes you can't try to be cheap. Hey, Lana, sometimes cheap can't be your litmus test. There's savings money, savings. Y'all, I can talk. Lord have mercy. There's saving money. There's reducing spending, but then there's trying to be cheap. I let a lot of people put in my head like, ooh, since it's what is it, COVID, let's oh, I got this nice apartment, but let's go closer to the city. It'll be closer to my job. Let's save money. God, I wasn't aware, and I was still learning how to hear from the spirit. I had saw this apartment. I was like, God, I was trying to reduce spending because I got tired of my rent going up. And I felt like I could never get like a real good rent special. So I got, eventually I ended up in an apartment I was supposed to be in, the one that I was like, oh my God, it's gonna cost what. That apartment had everything I ever wanted. I mean, I had this cute little what do you call it? The heater, the oh my God, y'all, I can't think of it. The cute heaters that have like the electronic like flames and all. You can turn that on all year long. You don't have to deploy the heat part, baby. I'd be in there, let the little thing dance. I had the heated floors in my bathroom. I had the technology all through that apartment. So like you could watch TV or like Wi-Fi cable, whatever, in your bathroom. I had the walk-in closet was a food. But I was like listening to other people who didn't even have what I had. I didn't realize like, oh, they were trying to sell me a dream because well, what they didn't have. And so I say that to say because I realized the hard way when I got finally went to the apartment God had sent me to, and everything was like, well, it hit me. I was like, sometimes God wants you to have better. And sometimes you're not going to be able to cut corners when God has something for you. Just go be obedient and go where He said go. Now, some of y'all, if you're not clear on your discernment and the way you hear God, because some of y'all be like y'all hearing God, and I'm like, you hearing your flesh. You out here just trying to spend money. Stay longer in your prayer closet until you get that confirmation. But don't be like me, trying to cut corners, and now you hearing everybody X show above you and you hear when people cough at night and when they Xing all day and night, and you can't even have your own peace of mind. Because I had to tell people I didn't pay money to hear they Skinamax show. I didn't. So unless they want to come down and pay my rent, what y'all trying to do? Okay. So it matters. Do your homework, do your research. If you got a mortgage, while things are on the up and up, so now we're talking prevention. When we're talking about reducing money, that's intervention. But I'm gonna go back to prevention. Why you got a couple extra dollars? Put it in your mind things every quarter you want to work on, and you probably should have this goaled out with your if you're in a family, whether you're single and running your family, or you got a partner running your family, or if you're living with a different family, have goals every quarter or every half year. Like, when I get extra money, I'm putting it towards this mortgage, or I'm putting it in a savings account, and this savings account is strictly for like emergencies involving the house or the mortgage. Because if anything will go stupid, I want that money going precisely to the mortgage to help me if I get in a bad way. Or if you got like um something you want to work on, like let's talk about shelter and stuff like that. Maybe you say, this is my repair budget. And so I'm going to have the credit union take $50 out every month, and this is going to go towards house repairs. When you're on a up and up, instead of getting them $200 shoes and them $200 purses and a $200 jacket and that $200 concert ticket, some of y'all ain't got that $1,200 Beyonce concert ticket. And no, you can't call Beyonce for no help. Love y'all mean it. Um, that was shade. I ain't hating. I ain't hating. Hold on. Let me see what y'all talking about this topic though. Yes, people talking about perfume. Oh no, you share perfume. I had a perfume habit, y'all. So that's why I thought y'all were talking about perfume. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Asher. Um, and even cutting out some of your frivolous stuff. Um, okay, trying to see. The next topic, insurance. What are some things we could do about insurance? So when I say insurance, for if you buy a new vehicle or a used vehicle, depending on the year, gap insurance, car insurance, renter's insurance, mortgage insurance, repair insurance. What can you do differently about insurance? Definitely, you probably periodically need to shop around. My sister used to work for Geico, so I know some of you could go online and take a defense online class, and it'll lower your bill by X amount of dollars. I know Geico does that. What other suggestions? I know some military people go towards some insurers who like sponsor military families specifically and veterans. But what other things can you do under insurance that could be helpful to reduce your spending? What tips do people have? Any ideas on the insurance? And I'm gonna go back to the grocery one too, because I don't think we hit the grocery one hard. But right now, insurance. I'm gonna come back to grocery at the end, but we're gonna hit insurance. What are some of the things you could do? And unfortunately, insurance, when I was coming up, insurance used to lower as you got older. But finally, when I got older, insurance, all it does is go up high. In terms of highway robbery, tell me why Georgia want more for insurance than Chicago do. I left Chicago. I was trying to get these quotes before I decided I was going to sell my car. I was like, ain't no way in hell. I said, how in the world? I said, how in the world, y'all? I said, I'm in Chirac. I literally said it to the person. I said, I'm in Chirac paying 150. What you mean you need three something? What y'all doing in Georgia? That's greater than Chirac. Did I say Chirac? They were like, yeah, the amount of accidents and the people. So in the South, there's Georgia been had insurance, but Florida, Alabama, and I ain't trying to be funny. Them North Carolina drivers and Alabama drivers are hell. Florida right behind them, but Florida, Alabama, and them accidents for the longest time, Alabama, all you didn't have to have. Well, Alabama had loose insurance laws for decades. Now, Alabama, you got to have liability, but there is a lot of people that are in and out of Georgia trying to get to other states or Georgia that don't have insurance, and now we're paying for that. Florida is super expensive. I have friends there, and I had a friend get in an accident there, and she said she felt like she got penalized for having insurance because basically the way that they do no contest, no fault in Florida, stay up, pray up. You know a little bit about that. Do you stay up, pray up? Do you feel like coming on? Because I remember her saying, like, you got to be careful with your. She said, if you used to being well insured in Florida, she said, buckle up because she said it's so many people who don't have insurance or they have like mediocre insurance, like they have maybe just liability or if you the people with the full comprehensive and she said you sometimes you can get taken in Florida. She said she had been in two different accidents and she felt like each time she really had to stay on top of both insurance companies to make sure she wasn't penalized as a person who had the best insurance. Like she just felt like it was just folks always coming for her. So I don't know. I don't know if you have any examples for us. Stay up, pray up. Okay, it's Stay Up Prep says it's called bare minimum insurance, and they do. Oh, okay, it's called bare minimum insurance. Y'all make sure you, if and those of you who move, you need to look at like insurance requirements before you move. I declined a job in Michigan, and one of the reasons why I forgot my family stays in Michigan, but like insurance in Michigan. You go Google it, and you come back and say that's why you start talking random. Between car theft and how much it costs, Michigan want more than Georgia, and both of them crazy. I wonder. Y'all, I'm checking something. Okay. Carolyn. Oh, yeah, I forget you're moving, Carolyn. Carolyn said insurance in Michigan. It is. Baby, once I got through counting that count, I said, mm-mm. I said, no, I'm just going. Career wise, I should have took the move, but I said, no, baby, I can't do this. I said, I told Michigan State, no, I love you. Sometimes I think about it and I said, ooh, no, not how I'm set up. Listen, I'm not cheap, but I'm funny about where I'm gonna put my money in. Thank you for the love, Elisa. Elisa, put it in the chat. Is it Eliza or is it Lisa? Because I've been on renamed you, and I don't want to do that. I want to honor people's names. So if I've ever mispronounced your name, put it in the chat how you pronounce it, like phonetically. So anything else on insurance, folks, that you know that you could do different? Do your diligence. Do your diligence. I know the longer you stay with some companies, they reward you. But after 2, 3 years, shop around and look. Don't assume you're getting the best deal. Yeah. Oh, deposits is another thing. TLC referenced deposits. Deposits is another thing. I'm not used to deposits. Oh, everywhere I lived, I never had to do a deposit. When I was talking about coming back to Georgia, oh, they were like, we need a deposit. I said, baby, y'all want a deposit on your utilities and your insurance. What the hell y'all got going down here? Why y'all need so much? Just because you can? I'm telling y'all, whether you're an individual or have a romantic partner or you got a family, when you're thinking about moving, you really need to be asking people who live in them states what they got going on. And shout out to my Virginia people, since we're talking about insurance, I'm gonna talk about car tax renewals. People in Virginia pay property tax on everything, including their cars. Ludicrous. And they pay like a lot of their property taxes twice a year. If you are in Chicago area, Cook County, you pay property tax twice a year. I'm not talking about cars. I'm talking about like property, like you own property. You pay that tax twice a year. Here, my parents only pay once a year. My friends that have mortgages and property pay once a year here in Georgia. But some states and municipalities, you pay twice a year. That's the kind of thing when I'm talking about you got extra money, you want to put money back. That's going to be a thing that as you get extra, like when I say extra money, I mean like if you get a once in a lifetime windfall, like oh, you didn't know you were going to get a refund back on something you paid for a long time ago, and they send you $1,000 in the mail after tax liabilities or whatever. You need to already know where that money can go. And if you're like, oh, you know what, we got to pay taxes twice a year, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in a credit union or in our savings, or maybe in a temporary savings bond, and then I'm gonna cash this back out when it's time to pay our taxes. There's always a creative way to pay stuff down, but I'm telling you, In the prevention side, think about how you could do things when the sun is still shining. Because when the sun ain't shining, now you got to do guttural things. Now you got to do the harder things. But while the sun is shining, think about, instead of taking that, I know I like to travel, Lord knows. Instead of taking that trip to Florida, maybe you got to chill and maybe you're going to put that money to the side. Instead of going to Vegas, instead of going to Italy, instead of going to, Japan, Mexico, wherever. Maybe this spring break the family don't go spring break. Maybe we keep it local and find things within the tri-state area and do like a lower grade trip and put that money back towards something like a rainy day fund or towards, if you pay property taxes. Because again, like I said, all it takes, I had a relative almost lose their property. Their property was paid up, mortgage paid up, but they went through a lot of stuff. They went through stuff with disabilities and all that stuff, and their income changed, and somebody swooped in, purchased a house, but something happened and it fell through, and so they were able to repurchase their house. But it was because of taxes. They weren't able to keep up their taxes because their money changed. Imagine that you don't work your butt off, paid the mortgage off, but it's taxes. Y'all, that's why I keep telling y'all, life be changing. Nobody sees themselves getting terminated. They don't see it. Or by the time you see it, you've already made some hard purchases. Nobody sees their organization dissolving and getting annexed, bought by another organization, going out of business. There's been businesses here in my hometown where folks said, the car dealer just showed up, put a note on the door and said, we're out of business. Nobody plans for that. That's happened at plants and other things. Y'all, life can happen. So when it's a good day, a sunny day, you got a little extra, be mindful of how you spend the money. I'm not telling you what to do as an adult. I'm just telling you to think about how can you protect yourself from a financial standpoint of being in a place where you got to go into survival mode if you've made it out of survival mode. All right. Any other hey Tina, any other recommendations on how you can save money around insurance? So renter's insurance, mortgage insurance, repair insurance, car insurance. Any suggestions? I mentioned making sure you're shopping around, making sure you know where you get discounts. Some of y'all's jobs offer discounts for your insurance. Like choice employer, that kind of thing. Same thing with rent. Some of them will give you like money off on your rental application or your mortgage. Some realty companies may give you money off, or I think you Chicago has something about purchasing home and support. And I think Wash U in St. Louis has something in their employee benefits. Check your employee benefits to see where not only do you get discounts, but it could be pieces in there about buying real estate, buying a home, what kind of support. And then there's local agencies. If you're trying to buy a home, there's local agencies that will work with you, first time down payment, so on and so forth. Go look for the support before you try to go out here and do it yourself. If you're a military veteran or dependent, there's benefits to that as well. So just thinking out loud. Let me see what you got in TikTok land. Do, 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 do. Yeah, these taxes, it ain't. Stay up, pray up. You ain't lying. Oh my God, stay up, pray up said in Florida is first, last in security. Woo! The West Coast is like that. California is like that's why I got my butt up out of California. I couldn't do it no more. All this deposit here, I wasn't used to it. I said, baby, let me go where my Okefenokee slow stuff need to be. I want to be where the slow folks at. Y'all too advanced for me. I'm not used to it. Y'all, listen, shout out to Governor Pritzker. Shout out to the mayor of Chicago. Shout out to Illinois. Of all the states that I've lived, Illinois take care of its people. I don't care what nobody say. Having a state where things are set up and well run, that's the only state I've lived in where I can truthfully say I feel like Illinois itself takes care of its folks. Now that weather gonna beat the hell out you, but Illinois take care of its folks from legislative to everyday living. It may not be perfect, but you can take care of yourself. I give you that. Okay, let me thank you for the hearts on both ends. Let me see what stay up, pray up. You know, got me on that one. Oh, thank you, Elisa. Elisa. Elisa, got you. Appreciate it. Stay up, pray up. My family's in Detroit, so car theft, car theft. The thieving is hard. Hard time. You got to think. Detroit used to be that city. Used to be that. Now they're on the rebirth. Like what Houston went through. Detroit is on a rebirth. But like you got to think. Detroit has been one of those cities. Like it was the lick, probably from like the 40s all the way through 90s, and then it hit a bust boom where like people, white flight, middle class flight, like they had to rebuild the downtown. There's more tourism coming. Um, the city is, coming back into its own. It's gone through some things, but it was almost like if you ever been outside of New Orleans, not outside, in the wards, actually, when I went, people warned me. There was like right outside of the French Quarter. They said it looks like a rundown, like what is it? A Western town. Like I think I saw tumbleweed, tumbleweed. Like I was waiting for the whoa, 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 whoa. It looked deserted right outside the French Quarter. I don't know if they built that up, but people was like, "Don't ask nobody for directions." That's back when NOLA used to be the murder capital. Glad they didn't shook that off. They were like, "Don't you ask nobody for no directions. Don't play with no games. If you don't know where you're going, get out the city, and then you can ask somebody." Um, but it looked deserted. Like Michigan went through its desertion piece where like folks were in, but they also like that's also urban planning. And every city goes through like a boom bust like that. It's urban planning, urban sprawl. The wealthy will always start in the city center and then they will sprawl outward every 20, 30 years. What that looks like is people with wealth will start in the city center. That's when you see downtown. So, like Atlanta is overdue. Atlanta wasn't always like that. Atlanta used to be more people friendly. Oh, that's why we call it old Atlanta. I miss old Atlanta. Lord knows. When they started, the people with wealth and Buckhead got pissy because the youth or younger adults would come through Atlanta, Buckhead, celebrities, all that. We loved it. But in order to change and make it more suburban and have more legislative like ordinance, you can't be, you can't cruise anymore. You can't, have establishments that are out past 2 o'clock in the morning because we used to be sun up, sun down. um they built all those condos down. When you build a whole bunch of homes and condos, that changes the environment. So people came out of the suburbs and moved downtown. If you're thinking about Atlanta, well, they did the opposite in Detroit. The wealth went from it being in the city to crawling to probably what is it called? Is it Auburn Hills? Auburn? It's something. Um, but the perimeter, right? And then eventually the perimeter becomes to like they're barely in the metropolitan. They're going that far suburbs. And then 30, 40 years later, if not them, their offspring will come right back in that city center and repopulate again. That's called urban sprawl. It's basically saying your city population and the wealth and resources will start at the city center, but then they will move out. And then the middle class is always in the middle chasing the rich people. And so that's why you see resources go where the money go. Hey sis. Yes, that's my sis. That's my sister. That's my sister. If you're a YouTube, Ashley King is my sister. She's the one in Houston. Um, that's my sister. That's my sister. But anyway, we're talking about budgets. Ooh, yeah, sis got some. Sis, put some budgeting things you've done in Texas. I was mentioning that yesterday. If you're on, my sister in Houston, she was the one that was saying like sometimes when things go awry and you can't just hurry up and pay for it just like that. Like sometimes you learn how to like, okay, what can I leverage? Like if my battery, I had to do this when my battery out. Okay, catch a ride to work and to and from work. If you're like, I remember when they were stealing all the carburetors and stuff like that. It was every big city had it, right? If they stole your car or your carburetor or something like that, you may have to think creative. Like, does a bus come out this way? In Miami they have, I don't know what you call that rail thing. Stay up, pray up, but they have this rail thing. And then they have trolleys. But now, if you stand out in Kendall Lakes, it don't go that far. But if you stay out Coral Gables all the way downtown. You can catch this little trolley comes through, this little metro rail thing they have. Dallas has a little metro rail thing. It doesn't go all over Dallas, but just immediate closer proximity to downtown, right? Same thing in Chicago. The red line ends in Rogers Park where I used to stay. But it hits the city. Now the big cities that have trains, real trains, not just the um I'm trying to so in New York it's called LIRR, Long Island Railroad. So like you're going deep in the suburbs. Those trains are a little bit different. And you got to make sure you watch out for the name of those trains. We're not talking about the inner city trains, we're talking about the trains that take you from the suburbs to the cities. Those can be helpful resources if something happens. I've seen a lot of my colleagues that were well to do, like if a car went out or somebody had to take a car and rotate it because the car is out of one car is down, and so now they're down to the last car. Like people would creatively either ride share or take we call it the metro, take the metro train in from the suburbs all the way in. Or maybe you're trying to cut down your entertainment budget. In Chicago you can take a train all the way into Wisconsin. People take their train in to work, but some people take it to be like, I want to go visit Milwaukee. Like, I need a weekend. You can get a ride share, drop you off, and go. I would do that so I didn't have to pay money to park. I wouldn't take the train, but I would ride share from the suburbs all the way into the city because by the time I put gas in my car, pay to park, do this, do that, it come out to be the same money. I might as well let somebody else drive. My sister says, depending on how walker friendly your city is, yeah, you can find ways to connect the city, transportation, ride shares, trains, cars. Like, because everybody doesn't, like, that's why I did it. When I left Chicago, I said, you know what, my next job or whatever, I'm going to learn how to make it without a car. And I did. All I had was transit when I was out in the Bay Area, Oakland, Berkeley, San Francisco. I didn't have a vehicle with me. I sold my car when I left Chicago. Um, Car rentals, carpools. There's we can move to transportation, obviously. What is it called? I have it. Shoot. They have them a lot on college campuses in downtown area. I just canceled my what is that thing? Oh my god, it's you could rent a car, but you had to have the app because you use the app to unlock the car. If you can think about it, let me know. What is it called? Y'all, my memory. Hold on, let me see if I just had it. Let me see if I can pull it up, y'all. Ride share car rental app. So there's Turo, where you rent from person to person, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's oh my gosh. Um Let me see what comes up. Turo is one, but that's not what I was talking about. I have used Turo, and that helped. That was a little bit better because when I stopped using credit cards, I didn't have to worry about like going to Enterprise. Zip card is what it's called. I could not remember the word zip card. Zip card can be helpful. If you're getting a snag and you not live too far from a downtown, you may be able to get a zip card or get somebody to drop you down to the zip card. I use a zip card to help move before I left the West Coast. Like I needed to get some different places here and there. I rented a zip card for an evening, 30, $40. Totally worth it. Was able to move stuff really quick. Got about, oh my gosh, I hate that when I came home, zip cars are only in Atlanta. I'm in Columbus. And I'm like, why is there no zip car here? Like you got a university and everything. You got, oh my gosh, like y'all missing out. We got the military here. Whew, make it make sense. But like if you are trying to save money, reduce money, maybe you're at a place where like you don't want to buy a new car, but like things are looking a little haney. Think about that. Turo, zip car. They're also because I was telling a relative about this. We're on transportation. I'm gonna go to other areas. People who need to pop off, do what you gotta do. What is it called? I don't remember. Oh, Sixt rental car company, but another company. You can look these companies up on your own. There are companies where if like, hey, my credit is a little bit mad right now. I want to I need a reliable car though. Like I can't just rent cars there. There are car companies. It's like it basically is a car club. You pay X amount of money, like you pay like a down payment, like 200, 250, 150, something like that to be a part of the club. And then you choose from their selection of cars. You select a package based on mileage and then I think you add the insurance in there. It's gonna cost a little bit of money, but it's the same amount of money if you went and rented or try to buy a car off of bad credit. Like it'll be the same amount. But the good thing about it is, if you only need it for a month, you can turn the car back in after a month. If you need it for a few months, you could do that. And the car repair and the side, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, if something happens to the vehicle, like all that is included with it. If there's a will, there's a way. So I say all these things like if you didn't know about some of these resources, they're there. I was just looking at a job in Vermont the other day. I haven't seen this anywhere else, but they have a whole free Vermont transportation thing. I said, oh, that's amazing. That's wonderful. Right? So look into different ways you can get around because if you're ever in the clutch, this could help you save money, extend your budget, or maybe extend the length of time that you have to go get the actual repair. Sometimes you can't just magically get repairs done. And it's my sister was offering if you do Uber, you can rent a car through them and use it to Uber and make money. And they'll allow you a few miles to get around too. And it says once you make your earnings to cover the cost of rental, you keep the rest. And that's true. I know some folks that did it. But if you're gonna do that, you gotta be a good budgeter because when they get ready to take that money out, they're gonna take that money out. Thank y'all so much for meeting the daily challenge with the golden buzzers. I appreciate y'all on top. This is some good insight. Let me see if there's some other insight, folks. Oh, flex car. Thank you for that. Stay up, pray up. Yep, flex car. Parlor definitely. If we say does it start Toro? Yeah, zip car. Yep, y'all hit it. Turo. Y'all hit it. Oh my God, stay up, pray up. And I hate that. That's what I went through in Carrollton. I was stuck as a undergrad and well, I had a car as a grad student, but as an undergrad, I totally would have worked an on-campus job if Carrollton had public transportation. I was sick that they didn't have public transportation because I couldn't make somebody else like make sure I could get to work, even though I was gonna offer, gas money. Like, what if they get sick or what if they got to ship like it hurts people when there's no local transportation. It hurts. Or if it's just mediocre transportation. So again, ideas, resources. Let me go back up to this chat because I know I've held y'all. I held y'all like little baby hostages. Entertainment. I'm gonna do entertainment and groceries at the same. Entertainment, groceries, daycare, dog care, caretaking. Look around. Look at your employer benefits. Some of y'all have employer benefits that help, or they give you days off and support when it comes to like caretaking of people, whether it's adoption, whether it's your parents and elder care, whether it's family members when they're sick. Just make sure you looked at your benefits thoroughly because some of y'all have benefits and you don't even realize you have them. And like I said, there may be preferred providers for services or products or discounts for those things. So for those of you gainfully employed, go check your benefits out. Go look at what those things are. And then sometimes learn to ask when you go out into these shops, these stores, like, hey, do y'all have any preferred discounts or anything? Ask. Some of y'all will get it because you're a public servant, you're an educator, you're a student. Learn to ask for those things. It's free. If they say no, no big deal. Just keep on make conversation. It's no big deal. Um, Entertainment. Learn to do things in groups. You'll learn to find coupons, groups. Same thing with groceries. And in certain days, like, learn when people stock different things according to the stores and places you shop. And until like, for me, I love on the West Coast, they have more fruit and produce markets and things like that. But some of y'all will save money if you would actually go get your produce from a produce market or a farmer's market versus just straight out always buying in the store. Or if you know your family eats a lot of produce, maybe having it shipped, or if you are in a place that if you're not too far away from farms and orchards, like we do this sometimes, like go to the farm and orchard and buy your stuff in whole, not just at Costco. Shout out to Costco. and other places like that. But like you may do better buying some of your produce. If you in Texas, I don't even want to come on. My sister, no, I be going crazy when I go to Houston and visit them. They got that fruit. Um, Oh, my sister added some other things. She said, "Don't be afraid to find local auto places and repair places." And then they have different charities that will help cover repair. Sis, can you tell us how you find charities that will help cover repair costs? Can you put in the chat, like, did you do anything specifically? Like how did, because I hadn't heard about that one. I do know, and I've told someone, somebody asked me for money, and I didn't mean no harm, but before, because I'm funny about solicitation, I know we all are. I told them to dial 211 because that's your nonprofit line in your city. If you have that in your city and it usually ties you to nonprofits, you'll be surprised how much charity pro bono support there'll be your city. Um, so TLC is telling me YouTube that in Vegas, if you get TANF benefits, TANF, you know, food support. They have a car repair program connected for those people who receive that benefit. So again, look into your benefits. If you lose your job or go through something, apply for emergency stamps. Let them decline you if you don't qualify. Don't sit up there and don't get help. And also find out where your local pantries are. Get them a hold of a ask around churches if they have pantries. Ask universities that are local. Some universities have pantries. Ask different shelter people if they know of pantries. Y'all don't think food pantries is leftover food. That's not what it is. A lot of I ran a pantry um through UC Berkeley. There was one on main campus, and then there was one on like the location I was in, which is Albany, California. We got stuff from local grocers and local nonprofits, quality stuff, quality goods, personal hygiene, uh, infant stuff. Y'all, there's resources. Don't sit back at home and be barely scraping and think there's nothing out there for you. There are resources, folks. Let me see. Yeah, the HSA. Oh, so let me go talk about this really quick before I let y'all go. Your benefits. One, if you can, some of you are mandated to, like, you have to contribute to your 401k. If you can, please do. For IRS reasons, let me tell you this. As I started making more money, the more that I maxed out my contributions to my 401k, it lowered my tax bill. You know why? On your when you get your tax return, your for what is it called? Your W-2. It'll give you your outright salary that you made, your gross. But towards the bottom, it will show you like minus like what you put into your 401k. So for example, let's say you made $100,000, but you put $15,000 back in your 401k. Your gross salary is $100,000, but your taxable salary may be $85,000. That is important when you think about tax bracket. When you can, max out your savings. Also, when I was in Indiana, they did their HSA. Oh, pardon me. They did their HSA flexing spendable card. If you get an HSA card, you're going to have a high deductible. Back then, I was more well anyway, so it didn't matter. They put the $2,000 max that you could get, or 24, whatever it was. They put it all on your card, and so when I needed to go to co-pays, to emergency rooms, dentist, doctor, things that were like you could either send a receipt in and get paid, get reimbursed for. Flex card, you get reimbursed for. HSA card, sometimes the money is already on there, or they reimburse you. Having that money already on there, when I lived in Indianapolis, when I told you that saved me, you cannot be out there. IRS will get you. They will, baby, don't be in the Saturday jail trying to play with the IRS. Use the money for what it's worth, what it's for. But when I tell you that saved me, talk to your benefits folks if you're on the job. They can walk you through all that. Those things are golden. Um, my sister said she researched low cost auto repair shops on Google, but also on social media. And she said use social like a search engine. Yeah, use social. You'll be surprised at what you find. And then some repair shops are new; they need the service, so they're looking for new customers. And she said you find good recommendations that way. Oh, this is some good insight. Thank you, sister. This is a really good insight. Thank you for that. Let me see some of the insight that some of y'all offered on Talkland. Oh yeah, so Perla said there's a food bank where they grow their produce. See, and see, we actually had a garden. We had a community garden, and sometimes we would bring produce out of our community garden in California. So listen, farm to table, farm to table. There's resources. Ashera is saying 10F recipients check to see if there's a car repair. Yep, from your worker. Yep, yep, yep. Good stuff. And some of this I didn't know. Groupon is good for entertainment. Thank you for that, Perla. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Thank you, Say Up Pray Up. I think she had to depart. I think AP had to depart. Oh, I'm so glad this is helpful for folks. I'm so glad. Hey Shika, hey Shika, hey Shika. I didn't get to this. I know some of y'all work in education, teachers, bus drivers, and the like. If y'all know of anything that can help people on childcare, daycare, getting kids to school, pet care. If you have any of those tips, that's my final area that I haven't touched. Can you put those in the chat if you know anything about daycare, childcare, pre-K programs, Head Start programs? So if you haven't heard of those, like Head Start pre-K, that's right before a kid goes to kindergarten. A lot of those programs my siblings did coming up. I was in daycare, so I kind of did that through the military. But after school programs are good. Keeping your kid, like if you can't get home immediately, like it gives them a place to be for an hour or so. And then whether it's doing homework or doing programs, maybe investing in boys, girls clubs, youth activities, things like that. If you can't quite get home immediately after work, giving them a place to go. People who've been in those organizations, feel free to speak to it if you know anything of those things. I don't want to speak to things I don't know, but those could be alternative paths to having to pay for high end childcare because daycare is expensive. I know for facts daycare is expensive. And those of you who know about daycare and things like that, if there's tips of the trade about how to look for daycare, dog care, all those good things, my sister is saying a couple of things. She says, yep, on Iris, it's about lowering your taxable income. That's what the wealthy do. Yep, and that's why they get all these tax cuts, and that's what they want. And if you have a business, like how you file your taxes as a business, like research that, do some research. There's so many books. My favorite books are those yellow books for dummies. Meaning like, oh, you don't know about this topic, like, but learn more. Definitely look into that. Ashara said there's a child care subsidy. Um, to assist with payment. So look into that. My sister in Houston said if you're unemployed, go to Workforce Solutions through what's TWC. Can you tell me what that is, sister? I don't know. She's saying they help provide stipend to childcare, even family members who watch the kids. That's huge. So, sis, can you tell me, like, spell out what TWC is? I don't know what that is. But if she's saying in Houston, if you're unemployed, go to the Workforce Solutions. Oh, it's called Lord, I'm getting tongue tied. Texas Workforce Commission. And they can help you get stipends for childcare or family members who are helping. Perla says it's a great program. Come on, my Texans. Y'all better look, where y'all little rope? Get up. I love it when I hear a state has good programs and resources. Y'all, because honestly, even though we're a little bit more modern day, we're always going to have to go back to that whole it takes a village. And right now, like, I'm so proud of y'all. I am so proud of y'all for putting this village knowledge in this chat. You don't know who's going to walk away today taking advantage of some of these resources because you all were kind enough not to gatekeep, how to think about things differently. It takes all this and more to make it in this world. So I can't thank y'all enough for sharing some of these resources. And Perla said they also offer free training programs and job placement. And in the South, I know a lot of the Goodwill centers are starting to do that too. And I think Salvation Army does that as well. Sabria, hey, thank you for joining. Um, TLC said, yeah, look for child care subsidy programs in your state. She also said, see if your child's school offers before or after school. Yep, that's a big thing because my mom used that when she knew it was going to take her an hour or so before she could get to my siblings and I was away at college. She did before and after school programs. And it helped a lot. So yeah, check into those things. Check into those things. So listen, I really chose to do this topic this way. God put it on my heart last night. I was doing something. I don't know if it was in boot camp that I got it, but I was doing something and I was like, ooh, I had that ooh aha moment. I was like, I want to like end this week on a high note talking about finance. Like, we talked about the hard part, like how did we get here and the systems, the systemic issues as well as the emotional spending. But like getting to a place where like you can be encouraged and empowered to look at community resources. This is what they're for. And I can tell you, I did a project when I got a certificate in youth development leadership. I find that a lot of cities do not mesh the resources. People don't. A lot of resources are maximized at 30% because people don't know. Because people gatekeep or people gatekeep inadvertently. They don't mean to, but they're not promoting the information and resource and access out to the right people with influence. Oh, thank you so much, Perla. Yep, Asher, I said that a couple of times, but yeah, look up 211, and that's your gateway to finding the resources in your area. 211. When I was going through, when I will stop working in Chicago, my friend who was a social worker, she was the one that put me on that. And that's why I tell y'all, find you a social worker. Call the Department of Health and Human Resources, and even if like they can help you directly, like talk with people who do this for a living. Don't take advantage of them. But sometimes it's just thinking about things differently. You realize that there's more out there that can help you, but definitely 211 to find out what's in your neck of the woods. All right, good people. I do have my songs of the day that I want to leave y'all with. So I have about three of them. Let me see. The first one I played all these today. They all came on. God came through. So for those of you just joining me, I try to always leave with songs of the day, the lyrics. I do a quick run through of the lyrics real quick, and then I have them added to our playlist. Our playlist is on Spotify. If you want access to that playlist, because on Talk I don't have links yet because I have under 1,000 people. Go to YouTube, Trailblazer U, the same name as at the top of the screen, Trailblazer U. I have a link to the Spotify on that page. And then to the people who are in Trailblazer U School, SKOOL. If you want to join, just go type SKOOL in your browser. Um, and that will give, and then look for Trailblazer U, and we're in there. And then you'll send me a notification that you want to add in, and then I can approve you. But these songs will be added in there today. So the first one is "Come Jesus Come." It's a newer song by CC Winans, 2020 for the Winans family. And it says, sometimes I fall to my knees and pray, come, Jesus, come. Let today be the day. Sometimes I feel like I'm going to break, but I'm holding on to a hope that won't fade. Come, Jesus, come. We've been waiting so long for the day you return to heal every hurt and right every wrong. We need you right now. Come and turn this around. Deep down, I know this world isn't home. Come, Jesus, come. There'll be no war and there'll be no change when Jesus comes. Let today be the day. He'll come for the weak and the strong, but the same. And all will believe in the power of his name. Come, Jesus, come. We've been waiting so long for the day you return to heal every hurt and every wrong. We need you right now. Come and turn this around. Deep down, I know this world isn't home. Come, Jesus, come. Come, Jesus, come. We're nearing the end. One day he'll come and we'll stand face to face. Come and I'll lay it all down because today might be today. The time is right now. Oh, there's no need to wait. Your past will be washed away. It will be washed by rivers of grace. Come, Jesus, come. Yeah, come, Jesus, come. Come on, Jesus. We've been waiting so long. We've been waiting so long for the day you return to heal every hurt and right every wrong if you don't stay long. We need you right now. Come and turn this around. Deep down, I know this world is a home. Do it, God, Lord Jesus. Come, Jesus, come. And then it ends with it's already done. Yes, it is. Glory to be to God. Glory, glory, glory. Thank you, Gina, for joining. So that's one of our songs of the day. The next two, Tell Me How by Ryan Stevenson. This song is from 2025. I was listening to this. They were back to back. When I tell you God was moving today, woo! It says, I'm a prodigal looking for the pot of gold, born with a restless heart, faith like a shooting star, burning out, coming back around, wrestling with all my thoughts, days when I'm feeling lost. Trying to connect space in between, head in my chest, what's it all mean? Holding my breath, questioning everything. How do I learn to trust you with it all? How do I learn that you'll catch me when I fall? How do I learn to trust you with it all? How do I learn you'll catch me when I fall? Tell me how, tell me how. Won't you tell me how? Tell me how. Can we skip the tiptoeing on on these eggshells? Can you see this thread I'm hanging by right now? God, you say you can take all my doubt, praying it's true, wondering how losing my grip and I could use you now. How do I learn how to trust you with it all? How do I know you'll catch me when I fall? How do I learn to trust you with it all? How do I know you'll catch me when I fall? And then it says, I know that you're listening. I know that you care, but sometimes in my humanness, I need to know you're there. How do I learn to trust you with it all? How do I learn, excuse me, how do I know that you catch me when I fall? How do I learn to trust you with it all? How do I learn you'll catch you when I fall? Tell me how, tell me how. Won't you tell me how? Tell me how. All right. And then the last song, this one might pull me. I'm playing this one twice. And it says, it's called Black Sheep. This one's newer too by Ben Fuller, 2025. Y'all pardon my sinuses and allergies are going up. You broke through 1,000 fences, been rescued from 1,000 ditches. You still swear you don't fit in. So you kick and scream, and you're gone again. Oh, y'all, pardon me. Um, Wandering off in the devil's wind. But how's it going out there? Mm. Acting so hard when you're alone, crying tears you hope nobody sees. Guess the good news is he'll never leave you be. Jesus loves you, black sheep. You hate everything about you. You think we're better off without you. You wear your pain on out on your sleeve, and you paint it on in rebel ink. But the alcohol and pills ain't a fixed thing. So how's it going out there? Acting like you ain't scared. And how's that heart of stone? Ooh, you better go for it. It says it ain't so hard when you're alone. Um, it says you're crying tears you hope nobody sees. Guess the good news is he'll never leave you be. Then it says Jesus loves you, black sheep. Jesus loves you, black sheep. Can't you tell when I ain't no prophet? But there come a point in time when you can't stop it. It says the good shepherd's love smells like smoke. There ain't no hell so low where he won't let the hounds of heaven go. Seek him, let the hounds of heaven go. So how's it going out there? Acting like you ain't scared. How's that heart of stone? Ain't so hard when you're alone. Crying tears you hope nobody sees. Guess the good news is he'll never let you be or leave you be. And then, and amazing grace is a pesky, pesky thing. But the good news is he'll never let you be. Jesus loves you, black sheep. Jesus loves you, black sheep. So again, that was Black Sheep by Ben Fuller. Song is lit. Go listen to it. So you got three songs on me. You got Black Sheep by Ben Fuller. I'm adding that to our list. You had oh my gosh, Tell Me How by Ryan Stevenson, and then you had Come On Jesus, no, Come Jesus Come by CC Winans. Oh my God, Robbie Gadget is definitely a beautiful song. Definitely a beautiful song. Was listened to it earlier, probably listen to it a little bit more today. Today was amazing. Y'all are amazing. Tomorrow will be the last day this week on financial stewardship. Come join us, same place, same time. I'm on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. Thank you so much. I hope that everybody has a wonderful day. Take care. And my YouTubers, y'all make sure y'all have a good day. Thank you so much.